welcome to Nightly Nitty Gritty on Inside Swoop and 90. I'm Megan Agugliaro, here to give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. First up, a new government initiative may help disaster-proof your home. According to AP, federal officials are launching an initiative to modernize building codes to help against extreme weather. The initiative is said to be discussed today during the National Hurricane Center in Miami. The program was approved earlier this year by the National Climate Task Force. A man is found dead in a gator-filled lake. The Largo man was said to be looking for frisbees at a disc golf course. The course has multiple signs warning people of alligators, but people are said to be risking their lives to collect discs to sell. The Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission released an email stating that a specialist is trying to remove an alligator from the lake to determine if it was involved in the incident. Finally, President Biden promises to send medium-range rocket systems to the Ukraine. Biden announced on Monday that Ukraine will receive a small number of high-tech rocket systems. Ukrainian leaders have been seeking weapons to stop further Russian invasion. The weapons are said to be a part of $700 million security assistance for the Ukraine. According to AP, U.S. officials were promised that the rockets would not be fired into Russian territory, but to target Russian assets instead. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this edition of Inside Swoop and 90. I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next time. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop and 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro, here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. The second hearing of the House Committee's investigation aired on Monday and found that former President Trump was warned by several of his advisors about election fraud claims. In a series of interview clips, the House was able to show the testimonies of several advisors. According to AP, Trump was told to stop claiming that the election had widespread fraud. The committee believes they have enough evidence to indict Trump. Donald Trump started claiming fraud well before Election Day. The committee provided evidence of Trump's claims using clips from August 2020. Trump also raised hundreds of millions for an election defense fund. The fund that was supposed to contest the election actually went to paying off debt, the RNC, and Trump's campaign. The committee also found that Trump's family and friends benefited from the fund. The committee alleges that Trump consistently ignored evidence of voter fraud being false. This escalated into marching orders that allegedly summoned supporters to Washington and sent them to the Capitol to block Biden's victory. The former president made remarks Monday that defended the Capitol attacks as merely Americans seeking to, quote, hold their elected officials accountable. The committee is still building its case against Trump as the next hearing continues Wednesday. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop and 90. Be sure to check in with us next time for more updates, and until then, I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next time. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to our remote edition of Inside Swoop and 90. I'm Megan Agugliaro. We're here on location at the baseball grounds of Jacksonville for today's Business Person Special. The Jumbo Shrimp are hosting the Norfolk Tides with the first pitch at 12:05. So come on out to the ballpark and take a break from the workday. Now on to the news. First up, the Department of Justice sues Arizona for a new voting law. On Tuesday, the state was sued over a law requiring additional proof of citizenship for people who register with a federal form. According to AP, the Justice Department believes the law is in direct conflict with a 1993 federal registration law and violates the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Next, advocates for immigrants are heading to New Orleans to try and save an Obama-era program. Today, arguments on the Texas ruling to end Obama's Deferred Action for Children Arrivals, also known as DACA, starts in a federal court of appeals. Though this isn't the first time the program has been challenged. President Trump attempted to end DACA, but a Supreme Court decision ruled in favor of the program. Finally, an auction for a 76-million-year-old dinosaur begins in New York. The Sotheby's Natural History Auction will feature the skeleton of a Gorgosaurus on July 28th. According to AP, the dinosaur, which was similar to a T-Rex, was an apex predator that lived in what is now the western U.S. and Canada. The fine arts company estimates that the fossil will sell for around $5 to $8 million.
Well, that's it for this on-location edition of Inside Swoop and 90. Don't forget the business person special and bring the kids to the ballpark for the Wet Ones Day as well. It's game day and water play day, and it all begins around noon. I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next time.
Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to the weekend weather edition of Inside Swoop in 90. I'm Megan Agugliaro, here to give you this weekend's forecast. The FPL plans to eliminate carbon emissions by 2045. Florida Power and Light, the largest electricity provider in the state, announced that they will be ending their usage of fossil fuels and increasing their reliance on solar energy. According to AP, the utility company serves 5.7 million homes and businesses in Florida, which is about half the state, and the multi-billion-dollar plan will not raise any prices because of it. Well, if we look at today's weather, today will be slightly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning and afternoon, and it will be humid throughout the day with highs in the upper 90s and chances of rain continue into the evening with lows in the upper 70s. Now, if we take a look at this weekend's weather, we can see that Sunday is similar to Saturday with a 20% chance of rain, but it will be mostly clear with highs in the 90s and lows in the mid 70s. Well, Ospreys, thank you for coming to Inside Swoop in 90 for your weekend weatherly needs. I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next weekend. Hello, and welcome to Inside Jacksonville, a production of the University of North Florida School of Communication and the CW17. I'm Megan Agugliaro. We're here each month with stories about life on the First Coast. Up first this month, it's the time of year when the surf is up. Inside Jacksonville's Lauren Fox hits the beach to show us how Jacksonville surfers are stoked for this year's hurricane season. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop in 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. The House committee met last Friday for a former White House counsel's testimony. Pat Cipollone appeared before the House committee for a day-long private session. According to AP, Cipollone was a highly sought-after witness after it was revealed that he attempted to stop Donald Trump from challenging the 2020 election results in a last-minute hearing last month. The committee is also expected to hear from Steve Bannon, a former White House strategist, who is facing criminal charges for defying a congressional subpoena. On Saturday, a letter from Bannon's attorney revealed his willingness to now testify, but he may still have to stand trial for said charges after a judge declined to delay his upcoming trials, reports AP. So, what's next for the House committee hearings? The next hearing begins today and is expected to focus on the planning of a January 6 attack by white nationalist groups like the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and the 3 Percenters. AP reports that the hearing will also feature some of the information learned during Cipollone's testimony. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop 90. Be sure to check in with us next time for more updates, and until then, I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next time. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop in 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro, here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. First up, the House January 6 committee held its October hearing just last week, where the panel made a unanimous decision to subpoena former President Trump for his involvement. The former president was originally not supposed to be subpoenaed, but according to AP, the panel is doing so, quote, for relevant documents and testimony under oath. The panel also showed a new video of Trump where he described a multi-part plan to overturn the 2020 election results. The committee believes this led to the attack on the Capitol. Another video shown was of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, giving an inside look at the Capitol on January 6 and how congressional leaders handled the situation. So, what's next for the House committee? The panel must set up an interview date with the former president. This can be revealed sometime this week, and it is unclear how Trump will respond. The panel is also talking to lawyers of former Vice President Pence, but it is not clear if he will give his testimony or be subpoenaed. According to AP, the committee will wrap up in the new year and is expected to make its final public arguments in December. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop 90. Be sure to check in with us next time for more updates, and until then, I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next time.